Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now I know it's been a little while since I last uploaded, but I do have a kind of good excuse for that. I have been out of town and I've been working on a project that I'm very excited about. I'm not allowed to say anything about it. It's not my project, I'm just involved in it. But I'm not allowed to say anything about it, but I'm very excited about it, and that's about all I can tell you on that front. I've also got a cold, which is fun. So, I'm feeling a bit crap, but we shall persevere. I think I picked this up whilst I was doing said project, which is sacrifices we make. Anyway, with it being the beginning of the month, there is, of course, a request in from my Patreon member, Bladed Thesis, who wants me to look at Jay Chou. Now, initially, I was not aware of who this was. And when I did become aware of who this was, it was not in the way I thought it was, if that makes sense. So, Jay Chou is a Taiwanese singer, songwriter, actor, director, and businessman. Got a lot of things going on here. In 2000, Jay Chou released his debut studio album, Jay, to runaway success, solidified by his second album, Fantasy, in 2001, which combined Western and East Asian music styles. He has since established himself as one of the most successful singers in the Chinese-speaking world, holding 15 Golden Melody Awards. The most of any singer ever, and earning the title King of Mando Pop, whatever Mando Pop is. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with the Mandalorian. Although it's probably Mandarin. In 2022, he became the first Mando Pop artist to top IFPI's global album sales chart with his 15th studio album, Greatest Works of Art, being the best-selling record of 2022. Now, there is a shitload of more information about this guy. There is so much, but I'm not going to go into it. But as I read through, I did discover that I did know him from somewhere. But I know him from a film. He was in Initial D. And I believe it's the film version of Initial D. When did that film come out? I can't remember now. Initial D. 2005. That's where I know him from. But he has been in quite a few other films. He played Green Hornet. He played Kato in The Green Hornet, which I believe is the Seth Rogen one, that absolutely awful Seth Rogen film. So I know him from that as well. So there's that. That's where I know him from. But anyway, I've been asked to look at some of his music. So I was asked to... Now, there's some confusion with this, because I was asked to look at the song Unparalleled, but when I was given the track list suggestion, it came with some Chinese characters next to it. I can't remember the name of them. And those characters come back saying Incomparable. Now, when I looked up the lyrics for Incomparable, the word Unparalleled comes up quite frequently, so I can only assume it's the same song, just translated ever so slightly differently, if that makes sense. Because the translation I found, the song is still called Incomparable, but the chorus has got the word Unparalleled used in it quite a lot. So I'm hoping that it's the same song. I don't know, because I couldn't find an actual song, a video for the song Unparalleled anywhere. It always came back as Incomparable. So I don't know. And I have got a translation of the lyrics here. I don't know how accurate they're going to be. Again, the way it says Unparalleled in the chorus, it could be Incomparable. I mean, the two words can sort of be interchanged in some respects. But anyway, I'm just talking absolute bollocks, and my face hurts. So we're just going to jump into this and see what we've got. So before we do that, if you could just take a moment to like and subscribe if you haven't already, it would really help me out. You know, I've been doing this for about 6 years, close to 7 years now, and not even 3% of people watching my videos are actually subscribed. So, you know, if you could like and subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything, takes a fraction of a second, and it does make the biggest difference to me. But with that as it is, we'll jump into this track and see what we've got. So, Incomparable or Unparalleled by Jay Chou. Let's have a look. Well, that was Unparalleled or Incomparable by Jay Chou. I really don't know what to think of that, because musically, it sounded great musically, you know, and the music itself had all like the strings and all that stuff behind it that's supposed to give it like an emotional weight. But the vocals didn't really portray that. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's got a decent voice, and the vocals were relatively well performed. There just wasn't any emotional impact in the vocal performance, because there were certain parts where you could hear the music going for really sort of deep, sort of impactful sort of emotional moment, but the vocals didn't mirror that. They were just, I don't want to say flat, but it was almost monotone, if that makes sense. You know, instead of like the deep impact of, you know, like if you to go up to someone and say, "Oh, I love you," you know, that's got more of an impact of, "I love you," you know. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, there didn't seem to be any emotional impact in the vocal performance, and it didn't match with the what felt like should have been emotional impact in the music. You know, because there were moments where it felt like there should have been a big sort of soul-crushing emotional break in the vocals, and it just wasn't there. That's just what it seemed like to me. You know, like I said, the actual music itself was really good, and the vocal performance itself was okay. It was just missing a bit of up and down movement. It was very, very linear, you know. I don't know if I'm making sense, because I'm popped up on so much cold and flu medicine at the moment. But I hope you understand what I mean. You know, there was nothing, there was no movement in the vocal performance, except for right at the end. There was those weird sort of wails. What the hell was going on with that? That was weird. I mean, that came straight out of left field. You know what I mean? Oh God. Anyway, was this song something to do with the video game? Because at the very beginning, it shows like the band, and then in the background there's like this picture of a character wearing armor, and it looked like a video game character. And then towards the end, there seemed to be a lot more sort of video game-ish like characters going on. Or was it just a very bad CG video? Because for some reason it made me think of Dynasty Warriors. So, you know, what was this song part of a video game? I don't know. If anybody knows, let me know. Maybe I'm just imagining things in my delirious state. Anyway, like I said, I've got an English translation here. I don't know how accurate it is. And honestly, at the moment, I couldn't tell you anything that the song might be about. Because I was so busy concentrating on what was going on over here, I wasn't actually reading the lyrics as I went along like I normally do. So, like I said, for some reason, when I typed in, or when I put in the song title that I was given, which I was given to be called Unparalleled, but it had the Chinese characters next to it, and it came up with Incomparable, which is a song we ended up listening to. I don't know whether it's the same song. Like I said, I don't know whether the title's just been translated differently. Oh, my head. But anyway, we'll talk about this one that I looked at. The translation I have here is, the wooden house is covered with the green of moss. On the deep road, the mosso bamboo with fallen leaves. There is a mist on top of the rock pile. This kind of life in seclusion is called Jianghu, or don't know how it's pronounced. I do apologise. So he seems to be talking about like a solitary life there. You know, this kind of life in seclusion's got a specific name for it, and he's talking about a moss-covered wooden house, like a little cabin out in the middle of nowhere, deep in the road, where surrounded by bamboo, it would seem, and mist on top of this rock pile. You know, could he be talking maybe about large hills, possibly even a mountain? You know, maybe this little house is parked on top of a mountain. You know, it says this rock pile, mist on top of this rock pile. It leads me to think of like high mountains, or, you know, rather large hills sort of thing. You know, maybe that's what he's talking about. So he seems to be talking about somebody who lives in seclusion. Now, throughout the video, he did seem to be playing this sort of warrior kind. Is he a lone warrior of sorts? You know, like is Ronin the word I'm looking for? You know, a sort of lone. No, Ronin are the. Oh, I can't bloody remember. You know what I'm trying to think of. But anyway, you know, it sounds like a lone person, you know, living a life of seclusion, keeping himself away from everything. But, you know, from the looks of the video, maybe he was lured back into battle. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have been doing this video in this current state, but, you know, I didn't want to leave it for so long. Anyway, it carries on. Arrows dance and fly in the sky. Unexpectedly, they cover up the sunrise on the city wall. Who is crying? Now, this is a visual. I've seen this visual. This is painful for you to watch. I know it is. But anyway, I've seen this visual used in movies. He says arrows dance and fly in the sky. Unexpectedly, they cover up the sunrise on the city wall. So, they've used this many, many times, especially in films like 300. And I think they did it possibly in Troy as well, where there's this massive volley of arrows, and there's so many arrows, it darkens the sky, it covers up the sun. That seems to be the sort of imagery he's going for there. So, he's making us... He's opening up talking about this home, isolated from everywhere else, and now he's talking about an attack on a city. So maybe this warrior, this lone person, has had to come out of his life of seclusion to help this city that's under siege, maybe. Charge, you understand, you hurry. However much barbaric strength you have, you pull however many bows. Listen to me, there's no way for martial arts to be any higher than the bell in the cloister, the still wind, the tree that is calm like water. Now, that line made no sense. Like I said, this translation is probably bad, I don't know. But there, he says, charge, you understand, you hurry. So that could be like the person living in seclusion up on the mountain in his little moss-covered hut, rushing to the aid of this city under siege, possibly. It says, however much barbaric strength you have, you pull however many bows. That kind of speaks to itself. It's like, however much strength you have, that's how much you have to fight back, possibly, is what he's saying there. And this line didn't make any sense, so it's possibly a bad translation. Listen to me, there's no way for martial arts to be any higher than the bell in the cloister. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean, but the bell in the cloister sort of suggests, again, the city possibly ringing out for the aid of this lone warrior. I don't know. The still wind, the tree that is calm like water, possibly talking about the united strength of the people there, I don't know. Then it goes into what I can only say is, imagine is a chorus. It says, my fate is unparalleled. So there's the word unparalleled that comes up, even though the track is called Incomparable on this specific page. My fate is unparalleled. I rule over the kingdom. Yet in the middle of the landslide victory, my dim voice carries sadness. I pitch camp all the way the edge of the bronze knife. I will not be used easily. The common people take priority. My fate is unparalleled. I rule over the kingdom. Yet after breaking into the city, I smile and I say, I do not long for war at all. I wait for a different race and look to the sky. We make an alliance with the drink of blood. I wait for loyalty, become the dragon from the fire. So a lot of those lines didn't seem to make sense, but they kind of do. So, my fate is unparalleled, I rule over the kingdom, yet in the middle of the landslide victory, my dim voice carries sadness. So, he has some sort of rule over this kingdom, it would seem. I'm like I say, I think this is like a lone warrior living on a mountainside. I don't think it necessarily means I rule over the kingdom, but I think he might be I watch over the kingdom. I am the protector of the kingdom. That might be what it's trying to say here. It says, my fate is unparalleled or incomparable, as the title of the the song comes up. Again, I don't know. So again, that's like, I have a fate that cannot be compared to anybody else's. It's there is no other person like me. My fate is unparalleled. There is no other person like me. I watch over and protect this kingdom, it would seem, is what he's saying. Yet in the middle of a landslide victory, my dim voice carries sadness. So I could be absolutely thrashing the people that are trying to take over my kingdom, or the kingdom that I watch over. But my voice carries sadness because I don't want war. I don't want conflict. I want to live in peace. I will fight if I have to, but I don't want to, is what it seems to suggest. I pitch camp all the way the edge of the bronze knife. That I'm not so sure about. That that could be, I live my life on the edge of a blade. I'd rather live in peace than live in war, but You know, I live on that, in that sort of fine line between the two, possibly, is what he's suggesting there. I will not be used easily. The common people take priority. I like that line. It's like, I don't necessarily pledge fealty to any particular ruler. You know, I will not be used for war by greater powers. For me, it is the common folk that take priority. I will protect the normal people. You know, I don't care about your politics, this, that, and the other. I don't want to see innocent people die, and I will fiercely fight to protect these people, because they aren't part of your war. You know, these people are just going to be collateral damage. So he's basically saying, I'm a lone warrior, I protect this kingdom, but I don't follow the law of the king or whoever. I protect the people. And I like that. And then it says, my fate is unparalleled, I rule over the kingdom. Again, I think that's supposed to be like, I protect the kingdom. Yet after breaking into the city, I smile and say, I do not long for war at all. Again, like I said, this seems to be like the protector saying, you know, I don't want to fight, but if I have to, I will. I will fiercely fight to protect these people. You know, but I don't want to fight. I don't want to spill blood, this, that, and the other. I wait for a different race and look to the sky. We make an alliance with the drink of blood. That, again, I think this is a badly translated line. You know, I look to the sky and we make an alliance with the drink of blood. So it's like, you know, let's come to a mutual understanding. I, you know, swear a blood oath maybe, or, you know, after I've slaughtered a certain amount of your people, you know, this person might give up and, you know, go, hey, truth, man, we'll back off. You know, I wait for loyalty, become the dragon from the fire. So again, waiting for loyalty, waiting for people to come to their senses and go, do you know what? My bad. Let's call a truce. Boom. Then it carries on. The broken old teapot, a few miles away, the dust from the horses' hooves, the city with the rising smoke signal. This kind of way of the world is called troubled times. That history is already blurred. Yet the rust on the knife comes out of the ground very clearly. It is me crying. So, the broken old teapot. And I know teapots and stuff have quite a cultural significance in a lot of Asian countries. Excuse me. Bit of lemon tea with honey. Anyway. So, a few miles away, the dust from horses' hooves. The city with the rising smoke signal. So again, it sounds like a city under siege, the dust rising from the horses' hooves, perhaps the invading army, it might say. This kind of way of the world is called troubled times. Yeah. That history is already blurred, so, you know, this is history repeating itself, and it's just, there's nothing new about it might seem. Yet the rust on the knife comes out of the ground very clearly. It is me crying. So again, you know, he doesn't want to fight, but he's having to take up arms again, pick up his old weapons, you know, and carry on. Order, you go, you continue. Now this line makes no sense. I hit the wooden fish percussion. I start to meditate about this battle. I attack the city and plunder. If you want to be cold-blooded, you need courage. Wielding my sword and cutting through iron like mud. Again, this translation seems to be quite bad. So I hit the wooden fish percussion. Now, I'm pretty sure at some point in my life I have seen a sort of fish-shaped sort of drum thing. You hit it with a stick. You know, it's hollow inside, but it's the shape of a fish with a wide open mouth, and you hit it. So that could be what he's talking about there. I start to meditate about the battle. You know, I'm preparing myself mentally for the upcoming battle. And again, I don't want to fight, but, you know, if I have to, I will. I will attack the city and plunder. So maybe it's not the city that he's protecting. He might be guarding the invading army, which seems a bit counterintuitive to me. But if you want to be cold-blooded, you need courage. So, you know, he's sort of psyching himself up by the sounds of things. Wielding my sword and cutting through iron like mud. So, you know, he seems to be quite a powerful warrior, and he can just cut through anything. You go again, you continue to be no match for me. The killer blow, the flute from far away, sounds the news of your defeat in battle. Maintain that murderous look, the feeling of wanting to win, the drive that makes me rule the world. So again, the fight that makes me rule the world. So is he the ruler? Because earlier on he says he's a ruler of a kingdom, and now he's saying he's a ruler of the world. Is he just a lone warrior with maybe he doesn't choose sides at all? He just like, there's an aggressor, I want to get rid of him, sort of thing. Is that what he's sort of thing? I don't know. So again, he says, you continue to be no match for me. So he is an incredibly powerful warrior. The killer blow, the flute from far away, sounds the news of your defeat in battle. So, news will travel fast about how I have absolutely destroyed you. Maintain the murderous look, the feeling of wanting to win, the drive that makes me rule the world. So, nothing can knock him off balance. He is focused, he is powerful, sort of thing. That's what it seems to be suggesting. Like I said, I could be way off. Like I said, I'm a bit deliriously giddy over on medication, trying to get rid of this cold that I managed to pick up somehow. Anyway, it then goes back into the chorus. My face is unparalleled, I rule over the kingdom, yet in the middle of a landslide victory my dim voice carries sadness. I pitch camp all the way, the edge of the bronze knife will not be used easily, the common people take priority. My fate is unparalleled, I rule over the kingdom, yet after breaking into the city I smile and say, I do not long for war at all. I wait for a different race and look to the sky, we make an alliance with the drink of blood. I wait for loyalty, become the dragon from the fire. And then it repeats that again. And that's pretty much the end of the song. So, like I said, the lyrics are a little bit unclear, but it does seem to be talking about a lone warrior of some kind. It might be a bigger story there. It might be a... can't think of the word I'm looking for. It might be referring to something else. I honestly don't know. But it does have a story behind it. It's like a lone warrior, apparently, that lives on a mountain or whatever, lives in solitude, lives in isolation, but he will come and fight and protect the common people if he has to. He doesn't want to fight, he doesn't like to fight, but he is absolutely deadly as all hell when he does fight. He just wants to live in peace, but if the everyday people are in danger, he will protect them fiercely. That's what it seems to be talking about. I could be completely wrong. If anybody can clear this up for me, I'd very much appreciate it. And like I said, throughout the video, it looked like the video had something to do with a video game, so maybe the actual lyrics of the song are to do with a video game, the story of a video game. I don't know. So, if anybody can clear it up for me, please let me know. Like I said, my brain isn't fully functional right now. And I could just be talking absolute bollocks for all I know. But anyway, like I said, musically, I liked it. Vocally, whilst the vocals were decently performed, he's obviously got a decent voice, he can obviously sing. There just wasn't any emotional impact behind the performance, that, like I said, there were moments in the music where it felt like there should be a big sort of hit of an emotional sort of crunch in the vocals, but there just wasn't any. The vocals were very again, I don't want to use the word flat. There wasn't much movement emotionally in the vocal performance. It was very, again, I don't want to use the word monotone either, but it was just very straightforward, and there didn't seem to be any impact in the vocals. Whilst they were performed decently, because obviously he's got a decent voice, there just wasn't any movement in it, and that was a little disappointing. But that could just be me. That could just be the way I'm picking at it, So yeah, I don't know what else I could say on that, so I'll just leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like or a subscribe if you haven't already, because it would really, really mean a lot to me. I've been doing this for about 6 years, and as it is, not even 3% of people watching my videos are actually subscribed, which is a little bit disheartening, because I like to think I do something different than most other reactors. Most reactors just look at a piece of music and go, yeah, I like it, no I didn't, and that's about it. I like to talk about the music. I like to talk about what the songs are talking about. You know, someone actually commented on one of my videos a couple of days ago saying, "Oh, somebody who's more interested in the lyrics than the actual song," and I'm like, "Well, the lyrics are the song." You know, that's kind of the point. You know, people just listen to a piece of music, and that's about all they get from it. Not many people, or not enough people, sit there and take time to actually look at what the song is talking about and what it means. You know, and that's what I like to do, because I don't think enough people pay enough attention to what a song is about. You know, they're missing out on this wealth of knowledge, these amazing stories that are being told, which is why I do what I do. You know, and there's that common misconception about all heavy metal being like violent, evil, aggressive, about murder and this sort of thing, and that's just simply not true. You know, of the 900 plus songs I've looked at on this channel, there's very, very few that actually cover any of those topics. You know, it's mostly about real world problems. You know, and this is a misconception I want to try and dissolve by, again, talking about the lyrics of a song. You know, so when someone the other day sort of said derisively, you know, "Oh, cares more about the lyrics than the actual music," and I was like, did you not actually pay attention at all to what I've been saying? You know, so yeah. So, you know, I like to think I do something that other people, you know, that people find interesting, you know, to try and start a conversation about songs, about music, about what, you know, what people might think a song means. Like this song I've looked at today, I could be completely wrong in what I'm talking about, you know, what the song itself could be about, you know, and I want to start that conversation. What do you think it was about? Do you actually know what it's about? You know, I want to start that conversation. I want to understand what the songs are about, what the music is about, you know, and that's why I do what I do. So, you know, if, you know, you could like and subscribe, it would really, really help me out. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes a fraction of a second, but it does make the biggest difference to me and the channel. But yeah, that's about all I've got for you on that one. I will be back in a couple of days with the second Patreon request from Mistress Vicious. And yeah, so yeah, I'll see you in a couple of days' time. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.